experts also with me, Mr. Richard here. So he's working with us for the last 3 years, and he takes care of our AI products. Okay, so today what I'm gonna do for you is like I'm gonna share some information about AI, what we have done, what are the products we have done. So is it everybody are like so which year are you guys in? So do you have chat option here? Is there any?
Yes, sir. Yes, we have, sir.
Yeah, can you enable the chat, sir, so that I can see, communicate with the people if it's okay? Okay, so let me proceed, and then once it is ready, you guys can bring it in. Okay, so because the main reason is like I don't know, like how many of you are following Elon Musk and Tesla's new innovations and stuffs like that. So currently, the one field which is like rocketing in India is artificial intelligence. Okay, it is one of the field most sorted field, and right now there is more opening in data science and data analytics. The main reason is India has tons of data. Okay. So what's happening right now is like there are so many data which are being processed. So data analytics and data science are peaking, and the scope for AI development is just growing up. So anybody has an opportunity to crack with artificial intelligence. So whenever we look at or think about artificial intelligence, the only thing which we think is the robots which comes into movie, right? Like the Endran robot, Superstar Rajnikant, Shah Rukh Khan, is those which comes into our mind, isn't it? So it is not just that. Okay, it has like to do a lot of other things with artificial intelligence. Okay, let me share you a little bit of what we have done, what we are currently doing, and then probably I will hand over the session to my expert here, who'll just walk you through some basics of AI, and then we can get started. Okay, so 1 minute, let me share the screen for you.
Students, whether the chat box is enabled. Students, can you please check and tell anyone whether the chat box is enabled for you? Is it enabled?
No, sir, not yet, sir.
Please, anyone? Is it enabled or not?
Sir, not yet enabled.
No. Saravanan sir, I think there is some problem with the settings.
No problem, sir. No problem, sir.
Okay, sir.
Okay, so are you guys able to see my screen? So somebody, just say yes.
Yes.
So are you?
Yes, sir.
Is it colorful? Okay, fine. So yeah, this is we have a training company called Forceps Training Solutions Private Limited, and we have an IT company called Smart and Technologies Private Limited. So we've been into training and AI production softwares from 2013. Okay, so we have been doing this for quite a while now, and let me show you like currently what we are doing in India, and so that you get a good insight about it. Okay, so let me quickly get into it. So I don't want to share much information about me. Okay, so the reason why I got into AI is like I'm a person who completely hated engineering, who never wanted to do anything with engineering. I just did engineering just for my family side. Okay, because I hated mathematics. I literally hated mathematics. I don't know, what is the revenge about, me and enmity between me and my maths. Okay, so from my 10th grade, I don't know how I cleared my 10th standard. I don't know how I cleared my 12th grade, but God knows it. And engineering, I had nearly 32 arrears, before I came to my 7th semester. So I was writing max 1 till my, 7th semester. But the one thing which I did was I cleared all my arrears by, the final year. I came out and I took a vow that I will never get into engineering field. Okay. So then I had an opportunity to go to UK. I was certified as a global trainer by international standards by Barclays Bank in London. I was the only Indian there who was able to lead the conference. And so this is the person from Madurai you see. I have not done, I have not spoken in English in front of my class. I've never spoken in English to say during my school days or college days. So now I went there, I was talking to the Brits and I got certified as my international trainer. So that's where my career started. I came back to India, recruited nearly 2,500 people and I given them job opportunities and stuff. So this is the moment which completely changed my life. Do you see these two people here? So these are the two people. Just have a look at them. I'll tell you who they are. So these guys were presenting this robot to Abdul Kalam sir. Okay, and Abdul Kalam sir was spending just 1 or 2 minutes with everybody. He was actually talking to them for nearly 20 minutes. And, and I was like stunned, like why, sir is spending so much of time with these two people. And then he said like he was so impressed and he asked him, why didn't you complete this? So what we did was we created an, so I told Abdul Kalam sir at that point of like, okay, let me invest on this one, sir. And I invested on this project. They finished this project. They made this human humanoid robot. And then after 2 months, I think 3 months, we shared the image and video to Abdul Kalam sir, and he called us over the phone, and he spent nearly like 20 to 30 minutes on how he was really impressed with it. He was asking like, how did you do it? Do you know why robotics will be useful? How AI will be useful in medical field? He never talked about army. He never talked about gadgets and stuff. The only focus was like how robots are changing medical field, how AI will help, and will teach others, share your knowledge. So I still get goosebumps like this. So after this, what I did was I know training. These two people know technical skills. So from 2013, we started an IT company called Smart and Technologies and a training company called Forceps Training Solutions. And we have been training students and we don't have any employees. Okay, we are a company without any employees who run only with students. We train students, we make them to do the project, and we also send them abroad to do projects and come back. Okay, I will also share some of the projects which have been done in Australia as well, which you will be stunned seeing that. Okay, so this is completely backed up by students. So we give them opportunity to learn. For example, if any student here who wants investment, who has a good idea, but you don't have right people to connect, you can buzz us, and we can help you to have your own startup. Okay, so this is also something which we are doing. And this year we started something called as 8 on 2020, where we wanted to create awareness on AI for nearly 2 lakh people. So we are on a mission to train 2 lakh people on artificial intelligence this year. And so far it's going good. And the saddest thing is like the awareness is still not there in students. I get only corporate people who are really interested in it, and they have been learning. Nearly 98 people are the people who are there and in our portal. So watch out for this artificial intelligence, and this is going to change your life. Okay, so. And I'm also one of the jury members in Smart India Hackathon. So if you're going to participate in any of the hackathon, so I might be one of your judges as well. So, excuse me. So one of my job is to, for example, you come up with a good project. Okay. My job is to connect with you with the corporates. Okay. So we find out who has done well, who's done good, and we provide them opportunities even to work with the companies. Okay. So, if you have an opportunity to be a part of the Smart India Hackathon, please participate in it. Don't, feel that, I will not win this. So participation itself will give you a lot of advantage. Okay. So don't miss that opportunity to be a part of this when you get an opportunity. Okay, so I share this with students. People can tell you that you're fit for nothing. You will have arrears. You will never come up in life. You do whatever they can scold you, abuse you, or anything. So this happened to me even in 2007 when I tried to get inside Indian Oil Corporation. They didn't even allow me inside. But in 2018, I was one of the chief guests. I had an opportunity to interact with all the top chairmen, CEOs, vice president. I told them this and they started laughing. Okay, so if you feel that nothing is happening, good in your life, don't worry. Keep working hard. It can, if it has happened to me, it can happen to anyone. Okay, so don't be demotivated with all the COVID situation and everything which is happening right now. Take it as a new opportunity, learn new things, and get skilled. Okay. So we also have a couple of Asia Book of Records. One is Asia Book of Record for in 2016 on ethical hacking, and then in 2018 we trained more than 1,000 women on artificial intelligence. Okay, so it was one day event where we taught them, we made them to do an application. This was also for Asia Book of Record and Indian Book of Records. So we also have a couple of record events to our name. Okay, so we are currently ranked number 2 in South India for best place to get to learn AI or for AI products by What After College. And now we train IIT Madras. So these are the colleges which I could never get inside, but we train IIT Madras now. You look at VIT Vellore and then NIT Calicut. And so we work with MGR University on research and development team. For example, if we have some, like you would have seen the drones, right? During this COVID situation, government was using, right? So we were also helping them on those drones to build that. And let me share you some more insights here. So these are some of the colleges and companies which are tied up. So I'll skip this. Okay, now this is what I do. Okay, those people who who come to us for learning or come to us for internship or who come to us to do some projects. Okay, so we are not a project company. Don't think that you don't come here for final year projects and stuff like that. Okay, so like if you have an idea, if you want to do something creative, we train you to become the next leaders. And what we do is we get our work done by students. You could ask me like why students? Number one, the thing is students are always eager to learn. Okay, and so they will learn new stuffs and they'll be and normally when we teach others we learn faster. Okay, that is the idea behind it. So we want to make the next level of leaders who go and represent on global stage. So we give them the opportunity. And right now students they got saturated with loads of online classes and stuff like that, and they were like, oh my god, you another online class are gone. So the thing is like, um, you can survive without even a degree at this point of time, but without a skill you are nothing. Okay, you can't survive in this world without a skill. Okay, you might have arrears, you don't have, you have CGP of 9.5, doesn't matter. Okay, you learn from IIT or you come from BITS, anywhere. If you don't have a skill, that's it. Your marks alone will not help you out in this digital. I have students who are in second year right now. They are earning at least 30,000 or 40,000 with me. Okay, so there are a lot of opportunities to learn and get skilled right now. So use that opportunity and try to get skilled as much as possible. Okay, so that's one. And this is an article about me in your story, way long back. And so these are some of when my students get placed, I feel really happy that when they tag on their post and say that, so we got placed, thank you to Sarvan sir and to my team. So this is something which we work for. So when someone is asking what's your success, I don't show my bank account. Okay, this is probably the success which I see. I don't know whether they're thanking their family or college or anyone, but when we see our names there, so it really makes us really proud. Okay, so this is what we do, and this is how our company functions. And this is the biggest thing which I want to share it with you. So this is an underwater drone which we did in Australia along with Zera Robotics. Okay. So what this does is this drone gets into the sea, gets the plastic out of the sea and puts it outside. So you could ask me like, why couldn't we do this in India? Because unfortunately in India, we don't have an opportunity to bring it in because there is a lot of restrictions we need a lot of permissions to bring it in, but so we couldn't do it in India. But the requirement was for Australia. Okay, so what we did, we sent some of our students there. They did this drone. They didn't do the hardware part of it, the algorithm or the brain behind the drone, I would say. So we sent 4 people to. They came as a student to us from their second year. Okay, see, we don't work with fourth year, or we don't work with third year. We normally work with first and second year, who are really fresh, who was there with us long time. So where they learn and grow. So when they went to Australia, they were just beginning the third year. So they did these projects right now. So Mr. Alex Hawke, Minister for International Development of the Pacific, he was really happy about it, and he has given us nearly 18 orders for drone. And the students are now settled there itself, and they're doing these drones out there. So this is something which we have done so far. And right now we are trying in association with Zera Robotics. We are launching Zera Aerospace in Chennai. So the plant is going to be built in here in Chennai in Gummidipundi. The work is in progress, and we are looking for approval. So once it's done, we will have our own drone and aerospace in Chennai. Okay, so this is something which we have done, and this is Mr. Alex Hawke. You can see with our students and our representative there. Okay, so these are some of the projects which we have installed in our Chennai. Okay, in few other companies and all across India, even in Delhi, Gurgaon, Surat, so places like this. Okay, normally when we think about artificial intelligence, we think about big robots, right? But it's not just that. Like anything which makes your work easier. Okay, so that is what you have to think. So you think in a perspective. Imagine if this, how can this work be faster? So imagine if a computer can see how soon it can finish this work. Okay, so these are some of the softwares which we have done. Let me give you an example. Our camera can detect. So let me give you a detailed explain of this one. Now, do you see this is an EcoSports car part? Okay, so this is an EcoSport car part, and the biggest challenge was in some of the parts when they manufacture and they send it for shipping, they forget to attach this black color band. Okay, they forget to attach this black color band. Now imagine this part is going to abroad. Okay, and the part is there without the band. You know what the companies will do? They'll send it back. The band can be just 40 rupees or 100 rupees. Okay, but sending the shipment back, that is a huge cost. Okay, which is a loss for the company. So to fix this error, we attached, so the requirement was, the Korean company gave a solution that you need to have 4 industry cameras. Cost of each industry camera was around 20 to 30 lakh. Okay. And then, oh my God, 1 minute current. Okay. So 22, guys, 1 minute, guys. Wire அதை டிஸ்கனெக்ட் பண்ணிட்டு இதில் போட்டு. Okay, so the job was, so the cameras each cost was 20,000 to 40,000 rupees, and just imagine, okay, for the Koreans to come to India and to install, the total cost was coming around 60 lakh rupees. Okay, so imagine the cost for the company to find out whether the band is there or not. And then we gave a solution to them. Let me tell you what solution we gave. Okay. So what we did was, we went to a shop, bought a simple Logitech web camera. We bought a simple Logitech web camera. We tied it up with the rope, and we did a programming in Python, which will say, what is the whether it will detect whether this black color band is there or not. Only if it is there, it will come out of the the manufacturing line. So the cost for us was only 10,000, but we billed them for nearly 1.5 lakh rupees. So I'm actually revealing my company secret to you. Okay, so you can do these kind of software, and this was done by a third year student. We gave an idea, so he did this. Now there is also challenges here. Now imagine the background is also black color. Okay, imagine the background is also black color. How will my camera, detect the black color band? Can anyone tell me here? Anybody? So we don't have the chat, right? But no problem. Let's hear. Anybody, come on. You can unmute yourself and you can tell me. So imagine the background is also black color and the band is also black color. How will my camera differentiate between the background and the band? Anybody here?
Edge detection.
Edge detection. Very good. What else?
Canny edge detection algorithm.
Good one, man. Good one. So yeah, so these are the ways. And again, we also can check the texture of it, right? So very good. So what's your name? Who's that?
Ashwin.
Ashwin. Okay. So which year you guys are in? First year, second year, third year?
Going to third year.
Okay, good. Good one, Ashwin. This is the fastest we have gotten now. Answer. Good. Okay, so these are things which we do. And you can see a small, this one, the blue color band here, right? So what it does is this camera detects whether, see, there was one problem in this when they do the manufacturing, when they do the shipping. What these people do is instead of Kia's car part, they put Hyundai's one. Instead of Hyundai, they put BMW's one. So our job was to just use a simple camera to detect the capture the color and detect which car it belongs to. Okay, to reduce the errors. Okay, so this is some of the things which we have done, which are simple tools, effective, and you know what? No one else is doing this in India. We are the only people in India who is doing this. Okay, and we are the cheapest and the best one onto this. Okay, and this is now this person who does the quality check, he has to put 12 tick marks. Okay, but what he does is like they become lazy and they don't do it. So what our job is to first, camera should detect all the 12 checkpoints. Only then this will be removed from this table. Otherwise this lock will not be unlocked. Okay, so these all comes under image processing. I will not say like AI stuff. Okay, like a simple machine learning algorithm or a simple image processing software will help you to do these kind of things. So always don't think that you want to build a big robot, so like just like how you see in the movie. No, think out. Here is an idea for you. Here is a tip for you. Do things which will make humans lazy. Okay, and if you keep thinking in that way, you will get a lot of ideas. So Swiggy, Zomato, these are all the things which success formulas for making people lazy. Even if it's just a 1 kilometer shop nearby house, we are not going to buy that, right? We're just using Swiggy, isn't it? So the life has become like that. But in COVID situation, they turned out to be a big, blessings in disguise, right? So you never know. A simple idea can change your life. The only thing which you guys have to do is focus more on skills. You might be, listening to me saying skills. Trust me, guys. Trust me from a person who hated engineering, who never wanted to do anything about engineering in his life, and is right now, whatever he does is related to engineering. Okay, so trust me, there is no better person for you to say. And so currently these are rankings on online. So currently your rank number. So you can Google Forceps Training Solutions. You can Google Smart and Technologies Private Limited, and you can see our credibility on internet. Okay, so and these are the traders. So these are the two people who you saw with Abdul Kalam sir, Deepan Raj and Jay Ganesh. They are lead scientists right now. They are very young, and this is Srinivasa Raghavan, and he is one of the AI developer right now. So he is in Ireland at the moment. So we have we have supported him, sponsored him to go there to do his MS, and he is taking care of all his AI research product development. And this is Sabri. He was there from his first year with us. So, he's not a junior now, he's a system engineer. He's just joined 6 months ago in TCS, he's a system engineer right now. Okay, so we are a group of people who say like, don't come to us for job. Okay, if you're saying that I want to get job, will you teach me? No, we are not the people. Okay, tata, bye-bye. But if you want to join, if you want to come and see where you can learn skills, if you ask me, sir, will I get a skill if I come here and there? Then yes, we can guarantee you 100% on that. Okay. So, and this is me, obviously. So, this is, yeah, I'm the founder and director of Forceps Training Solution. So now what I'll do for you is, you can take a screenshot of this probably if you want to get into and search about the details, you can do that. And That's my contact details, and you can buzz me if you need any support or any help on technical support. You can talk to me, and I will help you out. Great. And then what I'll also do right now is let me show you a couple of other projects which we have done, uh, which will give you an simple projects, which are like helping the small manufacturers. Okay, how our solutions are helping them. Okay, let me show you that 1 minute.
Saravanan sir, whether chat box is enabled for you?
I don't. Let me check, sir. No, sir, not yet.
Okay, are you connected to mobile or to laptop?
Laptop, sir, system. It's okay if I don't get it, sir. But are the students getting it? Are they able to access it? So.
Okay, sir.
So I'm just going to show you a couple of projects. You have to tell me what are the projects. Okay. I'm going to show you one of the important projects which no one is doing in India. So that's where we got an award as well. So let me show you 1 minute. So what's happening here? Who can tell me?
Object detecting sensor.
Object detection. What else is happening here? Yes, object detection. Yes. What else?
AI is
Checking the quality of the product.
Quality of the product. Okay. What else?
color difference, sir.
Okay, color difference. Okay, who said that? Okay, color. But what? Why you are checking the color difference?
Because we are separating ripened tomatoes from the raw ones.
Okay, brilliant. Good one, man. Okay. Yeah. Who's this? Ashwin, is it? Okay. So, yeah, see, what we are doing is like, it's a simple one. We just use a Raspberry Pi. Okay. And the reason why this is very important is during the COVID time, the laborers were not able to go there. Okay. They were like big problem, and the work was stopped. Okay. Now, if they want to get a software or a developing a tool for this, the budget was, which the companies gave was 18 lakh. Imagine 18 lakh, how these small companies can do. Okay, so our cost was around 15,000 to 20,000 rupees with every 24,000, I guess. So similarly, these are small ones, but we have installed for more than 40, 50 companies. Even a student, and this is done by a student, third year student. Okay, so these are something real time things where we are focusing on the small companies where they can afford more, and where we can make some changes. So this has helped them a lot. It has increased the production, especially during the COVID situations. Okay, so this is one of the one, and even you can do this. Yeah, you can easily do this. If you're going to third year, you guys can rock on this. So let me show you one more thing. So what was happening there?
Motion detection.
Motion detection. What else? Okay, let me put you this one. Okay, let me show you one more video as well. So what's happening here?
Virtual object detection. Both their size.
Okay. Okay, see, this is one of the innovative ideas which we gave for a company. So it is not just object detection. Okay. Now, do you see the green color pathway here? Okay. See, now you can see this person bringing the trolley. Now imagine this person keeping the trolley here and he goes off to, drink something, or he goes off talking to someone. What will happen? So if you look at a manufacturing line, this green way is like, no one should stand there. Literally, you can't even stand even for 5 seconds. Everyone has to be in moving. Okay, because if that stops, imagine there will be forklift vehicle which will be coming carrying these trolleys. Okay, so now we are the only people in India to install this software. This is our idea. Okay, so the thing is like it will not just detect the object. It will see how long it has been there, and it will trigger an alarm. Okay, if for example this person keeps a trolley and he goes off, this will trigger an alarm. Okay, and this will this will tell that which person put it, and the nearby the area manager inspector, he'll come and he will remove that. Okay, so this comes under, if you heard about Kaizen, 5S, lean manufacturing techniques in industry. So you also need to learn about this 5S Kaizen and all. So these are the rules behind how a plant is set up. Okay, you need to know the management concepts about the companies as well. The reason is not to get a job but to create an idea before you develop a content there. So now they didn't even think about this, but when we gave this solution, they were like, sir, thank you a lot. Now this is the only company in the world to have this facility. Okay, that alarm system for the green pathway. Okay, in the world, no one does that. This was said by that company. Okay, so even BMW company doesn't have this. So we started this in Chennai, and now it's being moved into Surat and other places. And you know what we used? We used industry standard Raspberry Pi, the original ones, and we have been implementing around 30 to 40 devices in one plant. Okay, so a simple IoT device which is actually getting the work done, and it is also filling our pockets. Okay, so this is how you have to think. You have to think, because some companies will not come and tell you, I need this requirement or stuff like that. You need to come up with ideas. Now, let me give you one simple way to get a job. Okay, the interviewer is asking, why should I give you a job? Okay, what are the things you say? Like, I studied this, I had 9 points, I have projects, I have done this. You've done this matters, it's like matters good. Okay, but what are the ideas you have? Okay, let me say, only 2% of students have an idea of what they want to do. Okay, let's say you get into an interview for a mechanic company, a mechanical domain or automobile industry. You need to have some projects which you have thought, okay, which can be implemented, which you are working on. So try to have a proper profiling for you, a good set of projects and exposures which you have worked on, so that you can relate to these kind of questions when they ask you. Yeah, got it. So one thing right now is I don't give you an advice or suggestion, but I would say suggestion is like, friends, don't take this COVID situation very lightly. It could be unfortunate that you can't even get into a college, you can't get the college exposure and stuff like that, please focus on your skills. Now, what is that one skill which you will have, which will help you to earn at least 500 rupees per day? What is that? A simple degree will not give you, right? What is that skill, right? What is that? The ability to create something, that is engineers. Okay, always focus on creative stuff. Now, the one thing is like you have a good bunch. I have nearly 200 students here. Okay, I don't know how many teams are here. Try to form groups with you guys. Ask if you for a good 3 or 4 member, 5 people group, you ask that person to learn that, learn this, learn this. Divide the work and start building projects. Okay, that should occupy your time. You can come with innovative stuff, innovation, creation, and skill. Only that thing will help you guys. Okay, this is my sincere, honest suggestion from looking at what's happening, because I have recruited for all the top companies, and it is like very tough without a skill, and companies are no longer willing to give you an learning time or attention. There is no training period. They immediately want people to work on the job. Okay, it is not to threaten you but to prepare you. Okay, so I might be doing one session, I think next week, I guess, on digital profiling. So how to profile ourselves, what is ATS, and how to get jobs, how is Facebook can play a major role in our job. So these things I'll be covering one by one in the future as well. Okay, so these are a couple of things which we created, not just, and there are a few other things, but I can't share it to you because of compliance issues. So as per the agreement with the companies. If you have any idea, if you have anything which you want to share with us, you can just let us know. We do have internship program. I will unfortunately I'm not able to give a message you here, but I'll share my contact number here, and you can just take a screenshot of this. If you're seeing this, you can buzz me. I'll let you know whenever we do an intern or any training. You can just stay connected with us. You can join our Facebook groups and stuff. Okay, brilliant. So any questions for me, friends, before I hand over the session to my developer here, who will just give you some insights about AI, and and probably he'll try to give you some demonstrations if possible. Okay, so any questions before I sign off? Yes, no, are you there? Did you guys enjoy it so far? Did you guys find it useful?
Yes, sir.
Oh,
Yes, sir.
okay. Okay, good. No problem. So just give me, we don't have any questions. I will hand it over to him. So I'll just pass it on to him. Okay, 1 minute. Sir, just give me 2 minutes, sir. I'll just ask one of my team member to join in now. Okay.
Yeah, sure, sir. Sure.
You should have joined it.
Yeah, sir. All right, guys. So I guess there's no chat box here. There's no chat box here. At least. Okay. So great, guy. So what do you know about artificial intelligence? So sir told you all the projects here. Have you got any idea? What do you know? What do you think artificial intelligence is?
Welcome, Richard, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Sorry. All right. Just a minute. I'll set up my mic.
Sure.
All right then. So okay. So can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, sure, great. Okay, so I'll ask you a question. What is artificial intelligence? What do you guys have any idea about artificial intelligence? What's your perception about artificial intelligence? You can unmute and say. I guess there is no chat option here. That would be good.
Students, please interact.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Okay then. So I'll just present my presentation then. Just wait a sec. I'll share my screen. All right. So artificial intelligence. You've heard this somewhere, and we also say that AI is a new trend, and I'm sure Sanand sir have shown you all those concepts, all those projects we have done in artificial intelligence. So with this, have you got any idea about artificial intelligence? Because you see there are artificial intelligence everywhere now. Even in our cameras, even our cell phone cameras, there's a word called AI has become a trend word right now, because there are courses, there are webinars coming on the artificial intelligence, because everyone are now pursuing artificial intelligence. So what do you think is the big deal about it? What made you excited about artificial intelligence? What made you join this webinar? What made you excited about artificial intelligence? So any comments on that? Yes, please try to interact, and that will excite me more as well. And wrong answers are completely welcome, so don't worry. Okay then. So actually no one is replying. Okay, then I'll continue. Okay, so here is an example of such a task. So here, I'm sure most people would have seen Terminator movies, or at least Chitty the Robot in Incident. So here, there will be a time there where you will direct objects as well. Likewise, in this Terminator movie, he will direct a bike, and he will say that the model is Harley Davidson. So how is he doing that? So that is basically computer vision. He's looking at the bike, and he's overlaying it, and he's recognizing which model is it matching with, and it's saying it's Harley Davidson. So this is literally artificial intelligence portrayed in the movies, but in the real life, AI is a little bit similar to that, but not completely similar. AI can be a little bit similar to this. So when you come into artificial intelligence, there is a even more trendier word, machine learning. Where now it's outer look, it's artificial intelligence, but when it come inside, they tell it's machine learning. Many people are confused with this. What is machine learning? What is artificial intelligence? I'm hearing two words: is machine learning artificial intelligence, or is artificial intelligence machine learning? Machine learning, I would say machine learning is making our machines learn using data. So we will have some data, and we will train our machines using the data and make our machine make predictions from the data. So it's basically making our machine learn from the data. Our machine will learn from the data and then predict using the data. So machine learning can be the learning using data is basically called as machine learning. The single line, making all machines learn from data. For example, let's say I'm giving my machine an example of male and female faces. So I want my machine to detect if I give a face there, I want my machine to detect that if it's a male or if it's a female. So what should I do? Now I should provide my machine a list of data sets. Like I'll provide let's say 1,000 images of male images and 1,000 female images. I'll provide this to my machine learning algorithm, and I will say nothing to my machine learning algorithm. Here I provide you the data. You need to learn from this data, and when I give you a new data point, you need to predict it. When I give you a new image, you need to predict if it's a male or a female, if it's a boy or a girl, if it's a male or a female. I'll tell you nothing. This is the data. I'm only giving you the data. All you have is the data. You're gonna have no information about the data. You have to learn from the data. That is what we are basically telling on machine and machine learning. So there are many algorithms that is capable of doing this. So yeah, machine learning is, so this picture represents machine learning. So basically the robot is looking at the data and tweaking its parameters. So that is what exactly happens in machine learning. The machine learning algorithm will look at the data and tweak some parameters by itself. We will tell nothing. We will tell that this is the data, and it will tweak some parameters by itself so that it fits the data, so that when a new data is given, it predicts it correctly. So the concept of machine learning in a machine learning system is, so there are three tasks: learning, improving experience with improving with experience at some task. So when you're learning a subject, you're basically improving the experience, and we're basically gaining experience about the subject. When a teacher teaches you the subject, you're basically seeing the experience about the subject, and improve our task. Every task it learns, it improves. Our machine learning algorithm does the same. When it learns, when we train it, the training part is also called as the learning part. We will be training our machine learning. I told you, we will be training with thousands of images. So similarly, when we train our machine learning algorithm, it will improve over each task. It will improve over each task, and it will modify its parameters. As we saw in the last slide, our machine learning will tweak its own parameters. It will modify accordingly. It will tweak its own parameters, and it will tweak with respect to the performance measure. So as performance increases or as performance decreases, let's say machine learning will first try to predict using our data. If it predicts wrongly, then it will tweak. So I predicted wrongly. I need to predict it more accurately. So then it will tweak. At a certain, there is a certain accuracy from a certain point, which will call as global minima. It should reach that global minima. If it's above that global minima, it won't work. If it's below that global minima, it won't classify properly. So it should reach the global minima. So for that, we will be improvising our task with respect to our performance. And yeah, this will be all the experiences also related to this. So that's what we basically call as machine learning. Machine learning, we will give data. Machine will train from the data, it will learn from the data. And when given a new data set, it will, when given a new data point or a new example of the data, it will predict from the data. Predict from the learnings. It would have learned a lot, right? It would predict from the learnings it did. So that is what basically machine learning is. And there's a lot of algorithms. Have anyone here heard about any machine learning algorithm? You can name any machine learning algorithm if you know any.
Regression, sir.
Yeah, regression. Good.
Neural
There is.
networks.
Sorry.
Neural networks.
Yeah, neural networks a good one, but I think it would come under deep learning. Yeah, actually, deep learning comes under machine learning, so yeah, it counts. Any other?
Linear regression.
Yeah, that's good. That's one of the basic algorithms in machine learning. Any others? So is there anyone here who's learning machine learning right now? I see people, you guys are naming algorithms. That means one or two of you should be learning machine learning. Is there anyone here learning machine learning right now? No? So, okay, where did you hear these algorithms from?
From workshops and online courses.
Okay, that's great. So yeah, so you're learning from workshops and online courses. That's cool. So keep learning, and if you do more projects while if you're planning to learn machine learning, do more projects. I'll give you more tips on how to learn machine learning. How do you get started with machine learning at the end of our session? Okay, kindly remind me to give you those tips. Okay, so let's moving on. We saw about machine learning. And when it comes to artificial intelligence, there are lots of concepts. Some people say that machine learning is artificial intelligence. Actually, machine learning is artificial intelligence. Practically speaking, machine learning is artificial intelligence. But when it comes to AI, when it comes to the advanced side, when it comes to the elite side, most people consider machine learning as machine learning, and deep learning is more as artificial intelligence because deep learning is more complicated. So they consider it as artificial intelligence. But basically, in an AI curve, so let me show you an example. So this is the exact representation. So you'll have artificial intelligence, and inside artificial intelligence, a subpart is machine learning, and inside machine learning, a subpart is deep learning. But deep learning dives into deeper concepts, so it's more of a complicated version. So it could be called artificial. It has the word. It is worthy of being called as artificial intelligence. But some people do think machine learning is not worthy of being called as artificial intelligence. But I think yeah, you can call machine learning as AI and deep learning as AI. And when it comes to AI, there are also a lot of fields, a lot of other fields like you see machine learning, natural language processing, computer vision, robotics, and speech recognition, etc. So I think all these things would come under AI, and any automated stuff, anything that computer detect would come under AI. So if you're detecting in the projects you saw, it would come under AI. Computer vision, even computer vision comes under AI. So it would come under AI. But yeah, these are the major concepts that come under AI. Let's say machine learning, computer vision. These are the concepts that if you want to learn AI, you need to know these concepts: machine learning, computer vision, and natural language processing, and speech recognition, and robotics. Robotics is not really necessary, or at least you need to learn deep learning. Deep learning is when you finish machine learning, you need to get deeper into deep learning. So going back, let's see what is computer vision. I told you computer vision, right? So what is computer vision? Do you have any ideas? We saw a few projects, right? Of those projects, what do you think? Which of those projects do you think uses computer vision? Sanan sir showed you some projects. So which of those projects uses some computer vision? Any ideas? Come on, you can predict.
The movement of the object.
Yeah,
Motion track.
that's great. Yeah, true. Then the other one too, the black mark, the edge detection, someone said, right? So that is computer vision too. So computer vision is highly used right now because maybe nowadays computer vision has more scope than machine learning. I think when computer vision and machine learning are combined, it could get a better result for us. So computer vision is basically giving our machine some eyes. It making our machine detect objects, making our machine detect people. You can detect if people are wearing space masks are not using computer vision. You can detect a face using computer vision, and there are lots of stuff possible with computer vision. So computer vision is like the eye of the machines. We can detect text using computer vision. Actually, there is speaking of computer vision, there is Google Lens. Have you anyone heard about Google Lens?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so you will be having it in your Photos app, Google Photos app. There will be Google Lens available for you. So in that, when you are taking a photo and go to Google Lens and click on Google Lens, it will actually detect the objects in that photo. So that was possible using both computer vision and machine learning. So these both made this possible. When it comes to machine learning, we use algorithms to make our machine predict by itself. But when it comes to computer vision, what we actually do is we give instructions to the machine. In machine learning, we don't give instructions to the machine. The machine learns by itself. But in computer vision, we actually give instructions to this machine. So if let's say if I want to detect a number plate from a car's backside, or if I want to detect lanes on a road, I'll be giving instructions to my machine. So this is how you should detect the edges, and you should focus on this part. The number plate will be present at this end, so you should focus on this part. Then you should take those numbers and convert it into digital numbers. That's how you detect a number plate in a car. So that's how we give instructions to computer vision. But in the case of machine learning, we don't need to give an instruction. We just give data. But computer vision doesn't need data. It just needs a bit of training data to test it with. But it doesn't need a lot of data at all. But in the case of machine learning, we need data. We feed data to a machine learning algorithm, and it learns from it. And we say nothing. But in computer vision, we give it the instructions where to detect it and how to detect it. We give it the instruction, so it detects automatically. So that's the difference between computer vision and machine learning. So yeah, as I told you, it's computer with eyes. So when it comes to machine learning, other forms of inputs, there's NLP, natural language processing. So have anyone heard about NLP? Do anyone have any idea what is NLP? Where is it being used?
Speech to text.
Great. That's cool. So speech to text recognition, and whenever you give the text, even it is used in Google's chatbots. You heard about Google Assistant, right? It's being used there. So speaking of Google Assistant, I could show you a demo video of Google Assistant. Their NLP is being actually used. I'm sure people would have, some of you would have seen this video because it was a famous one. So if you haven't seen, for the people who have seen, it's fine. For the people who haven't seen, this is a cool video.
The promise of the assistant. As I said earlier, our vision for our assistant is to help you get things done. It turns out a big part of getting things done is making a phone call. You may want to get an oil change schedule, maybe call a plumber in the middle of the week, or even schedule a haircut appointment. You know, we are working hard to help users through those moments. We want to connect users to businesses in a good way. Businesses actually rely a lot on this, but even in the US, 60% of small businesses don't have an online booking system set up. We think AI can help with this problem. So let's go back to this example. Let's say you want to ask Google to make you a haircut appointment on Tuesday between 10 and noon. What happens is the Google Assistant makes the call seamlessly in the background for you. So what you're going to hear is the Google Assistant actually calling a real salon to schedule an appointment for you. Let's listen.
So yeah, so in case there was a glitch, what he actually told was Google Assistant is going to make a call to a salon, and it's going to book a haircut appointment. And yeah, listen to it.
How can I help you? Hi, I'm calling to book a woman's haircut for a client. I'm looking for something on May 3rd. Sure, give me 1 second. Sure, what time are you looking for around? At 12 p.m. We do not have a 12 p.m. available. The closest we have to that is a 1:15. Do you have anything between 10 a.m. and 12 p.m.? Depending on what service she would like, what service is she looking for? Just a woman's haircut for now? Okay, we have it 10 o'clock. 10 a.m. is fine. Okay, what's her first name? Her first name is Lisa. Okay, perfect. So I will see Lisa at 10 o'clock on May 3rd. Okay, great. Thanks, great. Have a great day. Bye.
Yeah, so this is not new. This was actually released 2 or 3 years ago. So this is not new. This was this is an old one which was released actually 2 years ago. This release was done. So it's pretty cool, right? The Google Assistant actually calling. So here it's recognizing their speech, and when it recognizes their speech, it doesn't take all the words straight away. It actually there are lots of natural language processing operations done there, which you'll be aware of. There's like recognizing, streaming. So there's lots of machine that will be done there. Which you'll be aware of if you have learned the basics of NLP. You know what are the processes that would be done. So I'll just run the video. You show your watch the rest of the video.
That was a real call you just heard. The amazing thing is the assistant can actually understand the nuances of conversation. We've been working on this technology for many years. It's called Google Duplex. It brings together all our investments over the years in natural language understanding, deep learning.
So yeah, what do you tell? Natural language understanding, which is basically NLP. He's using a different word for NLP. So yeah.
It's called Google Duplex. It brings together all our investments over the years in natural language understanding, deep learning, text-to-speech. By the way, when we are done, the assistant can give you a confirmation notification saying your appointment has been taken care of. Let me give you another example. Let's say you want to call a restaurant, but maybe it's a small restaurant which is not easily available to book online. The call actually goes a bit differently than expected. So take a listen.
Can I hear you?
Hi, I'd like to reserve a table for Wednesday the 7th.
For 7 people?
It's for 4 people.
4 people when?
Wednesday at 6 p.m.
Oh, actually we reserve for like after like 5 people. 4 people you can come.
How long is the wait usually to be seated?
When tomorrow or weekday or?
For next Wednesday, the 7th.
Oh no, it's not too busy. You can come for 4 people, okay?
Oh, I gotcha. Thanks.
Bye-bye.
And that was a real call. We have many of these examples where the calls quite don't go as expected, but the assistant understands the context, the nuance. It knew to ask for wait times in this case and handle the interaction gracefully.
Okay, so I'm sure half of you already watched the video, but you see, so this now you see that assistant uses natural language processing to actually do it. And when the second call, when he was when the booking owner or the receptionist was confused and couldn't speak well, the assistant actually understood the context of it. So that is possible using NLP. That is possible using natural language processing. You will actually shorten the words so that our machine could be able to understand. So those are the few tricks that could be done with NLP. Yeah. So moving on, we just saw an introduction about NLP. So as I said, these are the branches of AI: machine learning, computer vision, robotics, and there are a lot of robotics. Have anyone of you seen this one? I think the robot name is Sophia, right? How many of you have heard about that robot, the humanoid robot, which is told to have conscious conscience and it would make decisions on its own, and told that it would kill the humans. There was a controversy in that, right? I think the name was Sophia. Yeah, am I right? If I'm wrong, please correct me if I'm wrong.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Sophia, right? So they were, I think it was created by Hanson Robotics, and they were telling that this robot actually has conscience. So do you believe that is true?
இல்லனா அம்மா அது அடிக்கடி இந்த மாதிரி ஆயிடும். இந்த மெசேஜ் மாதிரி வந்தா நெட் வராது இதுல.
Okay, someone can you mute yourself? Okay. So yeah, do you believe it is actually true? The Sophia one, that it actually has consent, that it actually told the humans to kill itself. We believe it's actually true. Actually, that was a marketing attempt by the Hanson Robotics to tell that they are building humanoid robots, but there are a lot of awesome things in that. The robot could do 32 facial expressions, I guess, and it could do speak as human. But other than that, it didn't have a consent. It was just trained using that sort of data, but it didn't actually has that kind of consents to actually eliminate or actually make decisions. It was trained using that sort of NLP data. That is all. They tell that is the generalized AI. Generalized artificial intelligence means they making decisions on its own. It doesn't actually make decision on its own. It is the data it's been trained on. It used NLP as well. It's the data it's been trained on. It might be trained on these types of data where the conversations was about human destruction or some controversial topics. So it might be trained using this data and then given to the press mates, etc., etc. So then it became a big deal, but I would say it's not actually a big deal, but there are also a lot of awesome features in it. It changes its facial expressions and it can hold up a conversation with a human. So that is good. That is AI, but that's not a generalized AI, which is like making decision on its own. It's not making decision on its own. It's just making decision on a data it's been given. It's not actually making deciding on its own. AI deciding on its own, AI having consent, it's not yet possible. It might be possible in the future, but I don't know. It's not yet possible right now. So yeah, as I told you, these are some examples. Like there is a Google Lens. I've already told you about Google Lens, and we saw the Google Assistant one. Let me show you what is Amazon Go. Have anyone heard about Amazon Go? Anyone? Amazon Go.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. What is Amazon Go? Okay, so I'll just show you right away.
4 years ago, we started to wonder, what would shopping look like if you could walk into a store, grab what you want, and just go? What if we could weave the most advanced machine learning, computer vision, and AI into the very fabric of a store, so you never have to wait in line? No lines, no checkouts. Anything you pick up is automatically added to your virtual cart. If you change your mind about that cupcake, just put it back. Our technology will update your virtual cart automatically. So, how does it work? We used computer vision.
Yeah, so we're using computer vision to detect the faces and those products.
Deep learning algorithms and sensor fusion, much like you'd find in self-driving cars. We call it just walk out technology. Once you've got everything you want, you can just go. When you leave, our Just Walk Out technology adds up your virtual cart and charges your Amazon account. Your receipt is sent straight to the app. No lines, no checkout. No, seriously.
So yeah, so that was Amazon Go, and it was actually a concept that actually failed in abroad as well. So why it won't work in India as well? Why do you think it won't work in India? It won't work in India. Amazon Go couldn't be possible in India. Or why do you think it is? It can't be possible in India?
Because not every person is aware of this kind of technology.
Yeah, and people won't take in this Amazon Go, the flowers. If you take a cupcake in the place where the girl took the cupcake, she should place it in the same place. And Indians won't probably do that. So they will take something and drop it off near the checkout place. If they don't want it, they drop near the checkout place. So they basically would be charged. So you need to perform. You need to do some standards. You need to keep up some standards when you're in there. You need to follow some rules, like keep it in the same place. Only then that Amazon Go will work. So now I think Amazon has given a trolley, Amazon trolley, where you can actually scan it, and the trolley builds it up automatically. And when you walk out of the shop, the trolley builds it out and takes it from the cart. In this Amazon Go, it was a little hard for the people in abroad as well. They can't place the things in the same place. So that was a little hard for the people there as well. So this Amazon came up with the trolley concept, which is working out much better now. Which it's being used in stores, a lot of stores in the US right now. So yeah, I think that would take a minimum of 10 years to come to India. Probably even more. Who knows? Okay, so that was an example of computer vision and deep learning combined. So what about robotics? So I'll show you another video which shows you the robotics one. So you see, this robot balances itself. So it's actually a hard task to balance. It has a lot of weight here. So it's a really hard task to balance. You see, the robot balances itself without any human intervention. It balances itself in that structure. So yeah, right now the robot is recognizing the tray there, and it's lifting it. It should first recognize it and position it to lift it. So here computer vision is being used to recognize it, and then it will go ahead and lift it. Okay, so this was done at 2017. So that was possible at 2017. So think about the possibilities now, which is nearly 4 years after that.
Pleasure to be here in Las Vegas to present to you. Now, I get invited
So here's another one. Watch it.
across the globe. And while it's easy for me to be here in Las Vegas, it isn't always easy for me to travel across the world. And even when I do, I can't always speak the local language. Well, what if neither language nor distance mattered for me to deliver a fantastic There was.
Okay.
Chat இருந்தாலும் பரவாயில்ல. Chatல
So okay. So here you saw the hologram. She actually created a hologram of her. So I guess the video is being stuck for you. So let's just stop playing videos and I'll just explain the concepts then, and I'll show you some algorithms then. Okay, so what she actually did was she actually created a hologram of her. So that was possible using artificial intelligence and VR. So implementing AI inside VR and hologram technologies, we are actually using AI everywhere. So AI can not only used in computer science field like facial detection or image recognition and like that. It's being used literally everywhere right now. So like it's been used in the medical sector. It's been used in quantum computing. It's been used in space and even in Mars rovers. It's why AI is being used. And there are lots of other sectors I could keep on saying, like in cybersecurity, etc., in stock markets, in productions, and even in drones right now, AI is being used. So do you guys know any other areas which AI could be beneficial, like the applications of AI? Anyone have any ideas? Like here, I've given some ideas like self-driving cars, robotics, Google Lens. Okay. So here's the big question. Why AI right now? Actually, these concepts, what I was talking about, the machine learning concepts and deep learning concepts, it was possible and it was already available during 1900s and between the 1900s and 2000s, which is literally 20 years before now. So 20 to 30 years before now. So why wasn't AI implemented back then, and why is it implemented now, right now? Do you know the answer? Why was AI not used back then, and why is it being used right now? We didn't have that much of hype back then, but it's been hyped right now. A lot of people are being attracted to artificial intelligence, and it's been developing a lot right now. What do you think is the reason?
Fast AdWords.
Sorry?
Fast AdWords.
Fast hardware. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, right. We are having much faster hardwares that could perform those computations. AI computations actually require a lot of GPU power and computation power. Back then, we didn't have that powerful GPUs. Right now, we are having a lot of powerful GPUs, even in our own computer. In your own laptops, you could do machine learning right now. You could do deep learning right now, but it could take a bit of power. But it's fine. You can do basic deep learning, and you can do literally all machine learning right now. You can also, there's something called as Google Colab. Using Google Colab, you can do advanced concepts in deep learning in your laptop, in everyone's laptop, and in everyone's phone. You can basically do machine learning and deep learning algorithm. You don't have to have a specific hardware right now. So that is one of the reasons AI has been in hype right now. And another one of the reasons is, what do you think the other reason is?
Big data.
Yeah, true. Data sets. So there are lots and lots of data. So for every 60 seconds, these are the amounts of data produced, and this was back on to 2018. So right now, after 3 years, we could probably have lots and lots of amounts of data about this. So this was back on 2018. So there were 98,000 tweets and 695,000 status updates. This was done every 60 seconds. So think about the amount of data. So here, 1,820 TB of data. Think about the amount of data that could be created. Once we started this meeting. So we started this meeting 1 o'clock, right? So it's nearly 1.5 hours. So 1,820 TB into 90 minutes, I guess, into 90. So that's the amount of data that's been created right now since we started this meeting. So every second I speak, there is a lot of data created over the internet. And since we are using internet, it's been stored in cloud as well. So you can literally access any data you want without any hard. You can just go to some few websites which provides you the data, and you can grab the data from them. So it's that easy. It's that easy to get data. Okay then. Which programming language do you think we can code AI in?
Python.
Huh?
Python. JavaScript.
Python and
JavaScript
and Anything else?
Julia.
Julia, yeah, I think Julia is being in trend right now.
C++.
Yeah, so basically AI can be coded with a lot, with nearly all the programming languages because it's basically algorithms. Machine learning algorithms are basically algorithms that can be coded in all programming languages. But the easiest, I would say the easiest part and the effective one is Python, is by using Python. Because in Python, the libraries is already pre-coded. You saw the linear, you told me the libraries like linear regression, the algorithms like linear regression and logistic regression, etc. Right? So these are already pre-coded in Python. So you don't have to take your effort to code it. These are actually pre-coded in Python. You don't have to sweat to code it by yourself, because in other programming language, if you want to code an algorithm, let's say linear regression, or you want to code a linear regression algorithm, it will nearly take you like 100 to 200 lines of code. But in Python, there is something called as libraries. Libraries are just someone else's code. Here, what will happen is someone else will write the library, like the algorithm, and they will upload it into the Python package manager. So when you want to use the library, you don't have to. When you want to use the algorithm, you don't want to type it from the beginning. You just want to import it, and then you run it in a single line. You don't have to use hundreds and hundreds of code for machine learning. Actually, machine learning has got a lot much easier when since Python came into play. So that's why Python is one of the best languages to do machine learning right now. And yeah, enough about machine learning, I guess. Let's dive into deep learning. Okay. So first, what do you mean by Apple? Apple means there could be multiple perceptions. Some could perceive a red apple or a green apple or the apple symbol. How do you differentiate between these apples? This is how the mission sees. All the mission sees is pixel values. So when it's a black and white image, there is only black or black to grayscale pixel value. So in this case, there will be pixel value. If it's a total black, pixel values will be like, if it's total black, the pixel value will be 0. And if it's completely white, the pixel value will be 255. So that's how the pixel value differs. If it's total black, the pixel value will be 0. And if it's completely white, the pixel value will be 255. So between that, when in a grayscale image, it will be come from black to 0 to 255. There will be some number. So in this case, you can see between 0 to 255, there will be some numbers. So that is the pixel values in. That is how Python generates. That's how it generates pixel values. Pixel values are just the color of the image, color of a single pixel image. So in this case, in my desktop, if I get to the smallest dot here, there will be a number that will consist a number, which is the pixel value, which is the pixel value of any image. Every image will have a pixel value. That's how we take data. Machine can't actually read image. I told you machine can read images, right? Actually, I lied. Machine can't actually read images. Machine can only read the pixel value in that images. Machine, it will read the pixel values, it will read the digits in that images, and then it will not actually read the images. It doesn't have eyes like it. Like I said, perceives using pixel values. It doesn't actually read the images right away. It gets the pixel value from that images and then it predicts. In the projects you saw, we don't actually take those in the boundary boxes it draws for object tracking. We don't actually track the objects. We track the pixel values. We track the actual pixel values that have been generated there. We don't actually track the objects right there. Okay. So similarly here, when it comes to an RGB image, there will be 3 pixel values. When it comes to a black and white image, there is only 1 pixel value right here. But when it comes to an RGB image, there will be 3 values, like what will be the pixel value for red, for blue, and for green. There will be 3 pixel values when it comes to an RGB image. Okay, so moving on. We will extract the features from the pixel values. And there are a lot of feature extraction techniques, which is given right here. You can extract features using each one of these techniques, because we have to extract some features from the image. Well, like from our Apple, let's say we have to extract the texture, the color, the color from color as a single feature, the texture as a single feature, and the shape as another feature. So we need to extract these features from our Apple. So for that, we need to use some feature extraction techniques. And then the other challenges faced is the background. So let's say I'm training on my machine learning algorithm using sheep data. I'm giving hundreds of sheep data, and then I'm giving this as an predict if this is a sheep or not. what my machine learning algorithm will do is it will see that both this has grass behind, this has grass behind. So it's only trained using pixel values, right? So it's this pixel values and this pixel values are similar. Most of the image pixel values are similar when it comes to grass behind. So it will say, okay, these both have the similar pixel values, so this should be the same image, and it will predict this one, the dog has sheep as well. So that shouldn't happen. That shouldn't happen. Like it should predict this as it shouldn't take the grass into consideration. So to minimize this, what we can do this, we can actually crop the part only where the sheep is visible. We can crop all the background out. You can only crop the part where the sheep is visible, and all the background should be cropped out. So by doing that, we could get better accuracy right here. And the next would be viewpoint, because when you see a chair right here, it will be viewed as a different one. When you see a different angle, it will be viewed as differently. So in this cases, what you need to do is you need to give different data sets. When the data set should be very diverse, it should consider all the viewpoints of a particular object. If you are classifying object, it should consider all the viewpoints of a particular object. You should give different viewpoints in your data set. And there is also this scale variation. This could be normalized using cropping as well. When you crop, there won't be like the scale variation right there. And there's also occlusion phase, so you need to give some diverse data again, because here the dog is straightly visible. Here only half of it is visible. So I need to give diverse data sets as well for the training. And there's also the illumination factor. For this, the cropping could work. Yeah, cropping and giving data sets with giving a cup with both illuminated image and a non-illuminated image would be fine. And there is also multi-classes, intra-class variation. So let's say I'm training my machine learning algorithm to classify a dog, what will I do is I can't just train it on a single variety of dog, like a beagle or any other single variety of dog. I need to give it all the varieties of dog for it to predict what's the dog, because all varieties of dog look differently, right? All breeds of dog look differently. So I need to provide it all the varieties of dog in the data set for it to predict exactly. So these are the challenges that will be faced when you are picking a data set. And when it comes to machine learning, there are three types: supervised, unsupervised, semi-supervised, reinforcement. Well, I guess let's not dive into the deeper concepts right now. What we'll do is we'll just look at the different algorithms. You told me there are some algorithms, right? Like, yeah, these are the available machine learning algorithms: k-nearest neighbors, logistic regression, support vector missions, decision trees, random forest, k-means clustering, bag-off visual words. So these are different algorithms to perform machine learning. Each algorithm has its own specialty. Some algorithms will perform good at classification data. Some algorithms will be performing good at regression data. So each algorithm has its own specialty. So those are the machine learning algorithms. And when it comes to deep learning has some deep learning algorithms as well. So it depends. It depends upon the data you are using. It depends upon the algorithm you're using. It depends upon the model you're using. You need to change the algorithm accordingly. Which will be learning when you said you are learning machine learning, right? Which when you're diving deep into machine learning, you'll be learning more about these algorithms. So so far, are there any doubts you want to ask me? Are there any clarification? I saw that some people were interested in machine learning. Are there any doubts you want to ask me? Because in 10 minutes, I'll pass the session to Saranam sir. So if you want to ask any doubts to me, you can ask me. If you're having any doubts or like how to move further, etc. like that, you can ask me right now. Anything about machine learning, about Python, or about deep learning. Any doubts or clarifications, feel free to ask me. Are there any? It doesn't matter if it's a minor doubt or a major doubt. It doesn't matter. If you have any doubt, if you have something in mind, just unmute yourself and say it. Or if you want an example of something, I can provide you some examples. Okay, then. So there are no doubts. What I'll do is, yeah. So let's see. I'll show you an example then. Show an example of a machine learning algorithm. And in the meantime, if you have any doubts, kindly unmute yourself and tell it to me. It's no big deal. So here is an example of a machine learning code. So I'll not be explaining. I can't be explaining it completely. So I can just give you an overview. So what I'm doing is this is something called as Google Colab, which is Google's supercomputer. You can access the supercomputer from your own laptop or from your own phone. You can just go to this link and you can access the supercomputer and you can run your Python code or machine learning code in this. And here what I'm doing is I'm going to predict gold prices. So for that, I'm importing the necessary libraries. I'm sure I don't know if you know what are libraries in Python. Like I told you, it's basically someone else's code. I'm importing the libraries and importing the data set here. So the data set I have is the data set I have is the gold prediction data set. Here we are having US gold prices and stock prices of the US companies, the US oil prices, and the silver prices, the euro to US conversion rate, etc. So we are having this data set. Now what I'll do is I want my algorithm to find out the gold prices. So I need to first divide the data set. So I'll first take the whole data set into my Y and the inputs as the next data set. I will take both the date. I'll take off the date and I'll take off the gold one. In the X data set, I need to have the stock prices, the USO, the silver, and euro. Using these four features, I'm going to predict my gold price. So that's what I'm telling my mission. I'm dividing the data, and then I'm dividing it into training and testing. So I'll tell you what is training and testing. When you're basically training a machine learning algorithm, you need to divide a part to test it. You can't just train your machine learning algorithm with all the data you have. In this case, let's if we see the amount of data we have, let's say what was the amount of data we have. Then of I have 2,290 data sets, data examples. So I can't just train my machine learning algorithm using this whole data set. I need to take a part of the training data and use it for testing. Like in your college or in your school, what they'll do is they'll give you in your maths problem or in your maths exam, they will give you some exercises when you are learning. They will give you some problem. And in the exam, they won't give you the same problems, right? They will change the questions, they will change the values, and they will give it for you to test you. Similarly, you need to test our machine learning algorithm. We need to test if it's cheating, like if it's mugging up at all. Like in a real life case, we might mug it up, or we might mug it up all and vomit it straight in the exam. So similarly, we need to check if our machine learning algorithm is the correct term would be overfitting. If it's overfitting the data, if it's actually fitting the data exactly, or if it's actually learning something, you need to test that. So you need to divide the training and testing data. Then we are using a algorithm called random forest regressor. Okay, you can Google it what it means. So right now we don't have the time to explain it. So we are using an algorithm called random forest regressor, which is actually basically a regression algorithm. And then I'm testing our predictions. So we are getting an accuracy of 98%, 0.98% accuracy from our training data. So we are basically what are we doing is I'm taking the testing data and predicting using the testing data. So when I'm predicting the testing data, we'll get a prediction, right? And now I'm comparing the predictions with the original answers. I'm comparing the predicted answers with the original answers. Likewise, you do an exam, right? When you write fill your exam sheet, your teacher will compare your answers with the original answers and see if you are done right. Similarly, I'm going to compare my predictions with the original answer, and I got an accuracy of 0.98%, which is not bad. So now I'm going to plot both of them, I'm going to plot the predicted values as green color and the original values as blue color. And we'll see the difference between predicted and original values. So you see the actual value is blue color and the predicted value is green color. So mostly they are similar. And sometimes the actual value is a little higher than the predicted values, I guess. So at some times there are flaws, but mostly they are similar. So using this, we can basically predict gold prices in the US by using this data set. So there are lots of data sets like this. And if you want to start into machine learning, so I told you, I would tell you in the end, right? So if you want to dive into machine learning, here are a few things you can start with. So here you see, first I'm importing some libraries, right? You need to know what these libraries are. If you don't know what libraries are, you need to know Python. So I would say you can go you can learn at least intermediate level of Python. You don't need to dive into object-oriented programming of Python because we don't use it in machine learning that much. You can just learn to the intermediate level of Python, learn the functions, learn the for loops and if loops, and then dive into some libraries in Python like NumPy library, the Pandas library. Learn 2 or 3 libraries like the Matplotlib library. Learn 2 or 3 libraries in Python, and then dive on into machine learning. And when you dive on into machine learning, you'll be using when you dive on into machine learning, you'll be using NumPy. You'll be using scikit-learn for your operations. So then dive on into first complete Python, then some libraries in Python, then dive on into machine learning. Do some course, find an online course, finish it, and don't just stick with the online course. Don't just so okay, I got the certificate, that's it. Don't just stick with that. When you're done with machine learning, get into computer vision. If you're already doing computer vision, then finish computer vision and get into machine learning, and then explore more topics in it, like explore natural language processing. Do one project in each sector. Do one project in natural language processing. You don't have to learn it all as well. You can just do a project. Do one project in natural language processing. Do a project in computer vision. Do a project in machine learning. Do a project in deep learning. So when you do projects, instead of running for certificates, when you do projects, you can actually get an insight about it. So if you want to learn, you can just do projects in machine learning, AI, and computer vision and natural language processing. Do one project in each sector so you get a better idea about it. So that's what I would recommend. And there are lots of resources available. You can choose one for yourself. Okay, then if you have any doubts, you can ask me, or else I'll ask Saranand sir to take over the session. Okay, so are there any doubts? You can ask me, or Saranand sir will take over the session.
Hi guys, so how did it go so far? So did you guys enjoy the session today? Did you find it useful? Unfortunately, there's no chat here. So what did you guys learn today? Anybody who just wants to give a recap? Did you guys really find this, like 2 hours of time, useful? Any suggestions for us? Come on, guys, what did you learn? Okay, so there's a lot of silence. Okay, good. Okay, guys, so the one thing which I want to tell you is always focus on skills. That's one thing which I wanted to let you guys know about it. Okay, So if you guys are looking for an internship or anything, you can bus us. You can, Google Forceps Training Solutions, Smart and Technologies. You can follow us on our Instagram or Facebook, and I have also provided you my contact number for your reference. So if you need any help or support, please feel free to join us. Okay. So I'll be, talking to you guys on one more session on. I don't know. Let me see. There's some more coming up. I hope I'll give you some more insights about what you guys have to do. Yeah. So if you guys don't have any questions, I think we're done for the day. Do you have any questions for us finally before we sign off? No? Or can I pick someone and ask you a question? Okay, no, I will not do that. Okay, so quickly 2 people left. Okay, good. So that's pretty much, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please skill yourself. And once again, thank you for the management for giving us the opportunity, to talk to you guys. And if anyone has any good idea or looking for a startup or something, please buzz me. It's really, good. Definitely, I can get you the funding and we can work together. Yeah. So thank you, sir. Thanks for the opportunity. If you don't have questions, I think we're done for the day. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Students, can you use that feedback that you can click on feedback form, which has been posted in chat box. If yes, you can fill this feedback form and you can leave this session. Thank you all.
Wonderful session, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, guys. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir.